Well, since you brought up the issue of the biofuels or biofoolery, I would like to ask you a question on the use of food for fuel, the biofuels mandate, which you said in a recent discussion, you indicated that this is what we as a political action committee and also we as society need to defeat immediately. Now, we've discussed on this program and in other publications the impact of the biofuels mandate on cattle herds, on livestock, on prices, really pricing food out of consumers' reach, and with the government subsidies now going to ethanol, where it takes approximately 1.3 gallons of gasoline energy, regular gasoline energy, to produce 1 gallon of ethanol. You're going to quickly price people out of energy also. But one thing that we have not had as clearly as we have it currently is the actual death rate as a result of the biofuels mandate. And recently, Michael Kirsch, the author of the North American Water and Power Alliance proposal, and Marcia Mary Baker, who works with Executive Intelligence Review on these sorts of issues, found from 2011 a press release from an individual who works with the U.S. Department of Interior, Indor Goklani. I doubt I'm pronouncing his name properly. But in this press release, he indicated, based on World Health Organization statistics, the number of people dying annually is, as a result of the biofuels mandate, increasing from 2004 levels, is 200,000 people per year die as a result of the increase in the biofuels mandate from 2004 levels. Now, Marcia Mary Baker did a rough estimate of what that, using the calculations from this individual, who is he's a very interesting fellow. He wrote a book titled "Why Global Warming Policies Are More Dangerous Than Global Warming Itself," which gets to the point there. But what Marcia Mary Baker pulled together is that, on a conservative estimate, based on extrapolating the calculations done for this 2011 statistic, we can see the death of 250,000 people per year, and millions more afflicted with disease and disability as a result of. And since Obama has become president, you've seen a 35% increase in the volume of corn going toward ethanol, from 94 million tons in 2008 to 127 million tons in 2011. Now, that's your death count. That's per year. 250,000 people, 250,000 people per year dying as a result of this. The Pope Francis, made a statement Thursday condemning speculation and what he's called the dictatorship of the economy, blaming speculation for the food crisis, saying it's a well-known fact that current levels of production are sufficient, yet millions of people are still suffering and dying of starvation. This is truly scandalous. And he goes on to say a way has to be found to enable everyone to benefit from the fruits of the earth. and not simply to close the gap between the affluent and those who must be satisfied with the crumbs falling from the table. Now, as part of a move to destroy this biofuels mandate, there was a piece of legislation introduced by Senator Goodlatte of Virginia with bipartisan support, calling for the repeal of the Renewable Fuel Standard, the Renewable Fuel Standard Elimination Act of 2013. I'm sorry, Representative Goodlatte. And there was a press conference on Thursday bringing this issue back to the fore with the Food Fairness Coalition. And I mean, this is a bill that has very substantial bipartisan support, and it was just brought back onto the front burner, so to speak, with this press conference. But without saying any more, because there will be much more coverage of this on the website, I would like to get your views on how we're going to destroy the biofuels mandate and the consequences of not doing it.
Well, there's a question and answer. Both are involved in this matter, because the Queen of England, who is actually the #1 figure in the global system, that is, she is nominally and functionally actually the empress of the world, and with her gobbling up the United States, which has happened under Obama and was happening under the 2 terms of Bush and so forth, and all the Bush things that have happened to the United States earlier, have all in this same direction. And the Bushes are only typical of a whole crew of people in the United States and elsewhere who have this kind of policy. And the policy is to reduce, the Queen was the one who was the leader in this thing, and it's still her policy, is to reduce the human population from 7 billion people to approximately 1 at a fairly rapid rate. Now, what is happening now is a result of that policy of the Queen of England. Now, she's not just the Queen of England. She is actually an empress. You take the number of nations which are literally under her control. You take the policies that are introduced under her specific influence. The green policy is that policy. It's a policy of reduction of the human population by what means? Any means available. And that's the Queen's policy. And she is an empress, not a queen. She's an empress. She's moved into the United States on big time. And as long as you allow that to go on unchallenged, you have no chance at all. The possibility of the existence of the human species is called into question. And that's what that food policy is. If you allow that to go through, if you don't stop that, if you don't throw that out, if you don't take that out and burn it, get rid of it, the policy is itself criminal. It's a plan for mass murder by various means, starving people to death. The rate of starvation in the United States now, do you realize what that is? Do you realize what that means in terms of the food that people are not going to have? Do you realize the increase in the death rate if you allow this president to continue with his present policies? And he's only working for the Queen. But her intention is to reduce the population of the planet from 9 billion people, or 7 billion people, down to approximately 1. And she's doing it already. It's being done. It's what the green movement is. This is the worst thing in all known history. Not necessarily in magnitude. The magnitude is bigger, but in terms of intensity. This is the greatest evil that you can imagine. And if anyone is apologizing for that, where's their morals? They don't have any.
Well, we have come to the end of our allotted time. That will bring a conclusion to our webcast tonight. I want to thank Leandra for joining me tonight. I thank our technical staff for the support, and I thank Mr. LaRouche for being with us. Thank you all of you for watching, and we'll see you next week.